You are tuned in to Wine and Wisdom, where mothers and wives dive deep, share stories, and uncork life's most meaningful conversations.
Darling, can you pass the wine, please?
Every Wednesday, we're bringing you real talk, real scenarios, and the real reality of womanhood.
I love you, girl. Enjoy the show.
What's up, ladies? Welcome back to another episode of Wine and Wisdom. I'm your host, Jamie, and tonight we're diving into something so many of us carry quietly, the mental load. Now, before we sip and spill, a quick shout out to the wine of the week. This week's wine is brought to you by Ozone Winery and Distillery, featuring their Shelby Rogue semi-sweet red wine. Sis, listen, if you're in the mood for a rich, smooth red with a kiss of sweetness, the Shelby Rogue is your new evening companion. It's locally made, beautifully bottled, and perfect for winding down after a day of carrying the kids, the house, and everything else. You can thank me later, okay? Now let's get into the topic of tonight. Okay, so the mental load isn't just about doing things. It's about remembering to do them too, okay? It's keeping tabs on what groceries are running, who needs to be signed up for summer camp, who has what this week, when the next dentist appointment is, who's feeling emotionally off, and whether or not your husband has clean socks for the week, okay? According to the American Sociological Association, women still perform the majority of unpaid domestic labor, including managing the household and emotional needs, even when they work full-time jobs. It's invisible work, but sis, even I know it can be exhausting. When the mental plate gets full, it spills on us, on our kids, on our marriages. This is why communicating with those around us is so important. Because here's the thing. Your spouse, my spouse, they're not mind readers. They can't know, like, I know it because I feel like such a hypocrite because but hold up. Even if you've been married for 5 years, 25 years, it doesn't matter. Communication is not optional. It is oxygen to the relationship. Because even I'm guilty sometimes of being like, okay, you've been with me for going on 10 years and you still ain't figured me out yet. No. And he's not going to. Why? Because I still have, think about it like this. Some of us even have children that we've birthed and we've raised, and we don't even have them figured out. So how can we expect a whole nother person to know what's on our mind? We can't. We can't. But communication is so important. My husband and I, we're coming up on our 10th year of being together and our 6th year of marriage. So, like, I know we're still babies compared to other people, but trust me when I say communication is not optional. If you want a healthy, prospering marriage, you have to communicate. And some days might be better than others. Some days, it is what it is. But as women, as people, we've been conditioned to just handle it or to just play strong, to multitask to the max, and to still somehow whisper our needs like they're too much. Like we feel bad for asking, hey, can I have help with all of this stuff that I'm doing over here? Like somehow we've been conditioned to think that that's bad, asking for help. But unspoken pressure creates unspoken resentment, and resentment is poison to intimacy. Yes, yes, it is. I have found the more that I hold things in instead of just going to my husband and being like, hey, can I talk to you about something? Resentment does start to appear because I'm sitting here bottling up these emotions that I have for this person that I'm living in the house with. And instead of voicing how I feel, I'm choosing to hold it in and pretend like everything's okay. No, 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 no. I have to speak up. I have to say something. I have to communicate. When we speak about our mental load, we're not complaining. We're not nagging or doing too much. No, you're communicating. We are inviting our partners into the process. You are literally taking a moment to bring them into your space, into your mind, allowing them to see your chaos at that moment. And you are you're literally saying, "Hey, I need help right now." And just like I trust you with everything else, I trust you with helping me with this too. So, asking for help or saying, "Hey, can you do, can you," there's nothing wrong with that. So, let's talk about something I wish I understood earlier in marriage. Just like raising a little boy and raising a little girl are two totally different things because they are two totally different energies. Men and women are wired differently. And this isn't anyone's fault. This is genetics. Not worse, not better, just different. And the sooner we embrace that, the easier it becomes to stop expecting our spouses to just know what we need. Naturally, as women, our minds are programmed to be set on certain things, certain responsibilities, certain tasks. The same goes for men. Science backs this up. Doctor said this, Bookie. They just backing me, okay? But research from the University of Pennsylvania using MRI scans shows that male and female brains are wired differently. Men's brains tend to have more connections within hemispheres that are great for motor control, while women's brains show more cross hemisphere activity, which is great for multitasking and social cognition. Like I said, we are wired differently. Also, according to a 2021 study in Sociological Research for the Dynamic World, 70% of women report being the primary managers of household tasks, even when both spouses work full time. But here's the good news: most men don't mind helping. They don't mind helping at all. They just need what? Clarity. Yes, they need to be told, let them know, lay it out. Because, like they said, we are wired differently. Unless they are told, sometimes, I know this ain't for everybody, but sometimes they're not going to think to. They're just going to think, oh, she has it. Because I know if she needs help, she's going to what? Say something. Okay. They just need clarity. That doesn't make them incompetent or lazy. It just means communication might be their love language. Unless you specify to them that today is cleaning day, in their world, how are they supposed to know that you want the bathrooms deep cleaned, inside out, trash taken out, floor scrubbed, the whole shebang? How are they supposed to know? Did you ask them? No. Okay. Well, next time we should ask them kindly and trust that they want to show up and that they don't see it as, oh my gosh, she's nagging. No, you know your husband. I know my husband. I know if I go to him and I say, hey, do you mind cleaning the bathrooms for me? Because that shower be whooping me and it kills my back. I'll clean the showers. I'll get around to it. And guess what he do? He get around to it. And my back ain't hurting. Why? Because I opened my mouth and I asked him. That is all. But let me shift your mindset for a second because I know we get that a lot that, you're nagging or you're disgruntled or you're this or I'm so used to people putting labels on me. Oh, disgruntled. Oh my God. But don't let anyone make you feel like you are nagging for asking for help, period. If the person that you are living with sees you asking for help as nagging, there's a bigger problem. There is a bigger issue at hand. However, also, we should be considerate of the tone that we're asking and things because, you know, I'll be transparent. There are some times where I go to my husband with some things and he has to kind of bring me back down to earth like, hey, I don't mind doing what, you're saying, but don't talk at me. Do not talk at me. Talk to me. And I'm like, okay, let me reevaluate. I apologize. But I feel da 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 and whatever else. But asking for help is not nagging. And I've already said this. It is actually a secret to deeper intimacy in a relationship. Okay? A study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that couples who share household responsibilities report higher levels of marital satisfaction and sexual intimacy. Now, I don't know about you, Bookie, but what I got from that was couples who balance responsibilities. Balance is the key word here. Report higher levels of satisfaction in marriage and in the bedroom. I don't know. But it sounds like sharing the mental load might be what's best for everybody in the house, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Because see, here's what happens when we communicate. It removes confusion. That little gray area, it removes that. Okay. It invites connection, and it honors the fact that your partner isn't a mind reader. It honors that. It acknowledges the fact that, hey, if I want his help, I might need to say something. I can't expect him to just know I need to open my mouth. But they are someone who loves you and is willing to show up for you if you let them. When your spouse feels like they're winning with you, they'll show up better too. Love is teamwork, not telepathy. You just got to trust me on this one, Bookie, because I thought my husband and I working on that food truck together would be a living nightmare. But our relationship has grown so much since we've been together on that food truck. And even though we have days where it's just like, look, don't look at me, don't talk to me while we're on this food truck. Like, you do you, I do me. It's cool. But as far as our house and as far as our unity and our kids and our family, um, like we've all grown. We all have grown, and it's a beautiful thing because everyone's present, everyone's active, everyone's invested. It's not like everyone's tucked away in their rooms. Nobody knows how anyone's day was. Um, it's it's enjoyable, but being able to win together and go through things together and work through things together and being in these situations where you are forced to have to communicate um, is challenging, but also very rewarding too. So, what are some signs that your mental plate is overflowing? Because as women, like I said, we juggle so many things throughout our day that for me, sometimes until somebody asks me, so what's been going on lately, and I have to give them the whole spiel, I don't realize how much I'm juggling until I start listing things out, and I'm like, dang, that's a lot, okay? But here are some signs that your mental plate is overflowing. You have mood swings or spouts of irritability, brain fog or forgetfulness. You might have trouble sleeping, insomnia, constant multitasking without finishing anything. So you got a bunch of little projects going on, but you never finish any of them. I need to tap myself or whatever. Or feeling invisible or unappreciated or undervalued. Believe it or not, according to the American Psychological Association, over 47% of women feel mentally exhausted consistently. And the invisible mental load is a top contributor. Now that we know this, what are some ways that we can unfull our plates? One way is we can daily brain dump. This is where journaling comes into play for the people that enjoy journaling, or the people that enjoy taking a pen and paper or going into their note app and just writing down everything on your mind to just free up space. Number 2, you can delegate with a purpose. Release control. If they can do it, let them. If your kids are old enough to put up their old clothes after you fold them, let them. if you asked your husband to clean the shower, or if you asked him to load the dishwasher so you could start cooking, and he say yeah, let him. You do not have to be superwoman. And it's totally acceptable to tell people no. Telling somebody no is not mean. It's just a response. You got yes and no, or not right now. It's okay. Number 3, communicate with clarity. I need help with is so powerful. Number 4, micro self care. 10-minute resets, they matter. Those little quiet times throughout your day, they matter. Look, quiet time is holy time. You can't hear what God has to say if you don't give him the space. If you're constantly on your phone, if you're constantly scrolling, if you're constantly watching something, or if you're constantly just in these loud environments where you can't just be still and quiet to where you can hear, how are you going to get in tune? You can't. And number 5, weekly check ins. Look, a glass of wine and a real conversation can heal a lot more than you think. So can your word too. So, 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Y'all, even God says, give it to me. So, why are we out here thinking that we have to carry it all in silence? Like, he sees your heart, he sees your home, he sees your hustle, he sees your hunger, and he cares. All we have to do is just open our mouth and ask for help from God and from your man. But you got to ask for God first. District question of the day. And let's be honest. Go to the district and write your response so we can chat about it. Like, this is what it is about. We are building a community where it is a safe space where we can share our point of views on these topics, because what somebody else posts, I might need her perspective to free me from something that I'm going through in my life. Or I might post something that might free somebody over here from something that they're going through in their life. Like, it's all about the perspective shift and us being able to communicate and discuss and have these healthy, safe discussions is the goal of the Wine and Wisdom District. And I appreciate the girls that are contributing, helping as far as building the village. But back to the district question of the day. How do you communicate to your partner that your mental plate is full? Are you one of those people that right now you just assume that he can figure out whatever it is on your mind like a Jedi? Or like, are you leaving sticky notes on the fridge? Or are you writing letters? Like, what you doing? Spill the sauce. What you doing? I'll go first, and I'll be transparent because I'm all about transparency. So I used to have a bad habit of suffering in silence. So I would go through things, or I would need, for example, I would know it would be easier if I asked somebody to help me with watching the kids, but I choose not to ask because it's either out of fear of I don't want to be a burden to someone else, or I don't want anyone coming back to be able to say, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have been able to do X, Y, and Z. Because throughout my life, sometimes there were situations where people would help me, and it was appreciated. However, down the line, it was, if I didn't do this, you wouldn't have, or if you didn't, and I don't like that. And so it created me to be this person of do it yourself. If you don't have to ask anybody, don't. And only ask somebody when, like, you absolutely have no choice. And as I've grown, I realized that's not healthy. It's not a reflection of safety or softness or anything like that. It's actually from a scarcity or lack of mindset. So, or mindset of lack, put it that way. But I wouldn't ask for help. But now I've gotten to the point to where I don't mind, because at the end of the day, people can only do one or two things. They can either say yes or no. If you say no, okay, bam. I know it wasn't for me. I'm gonna keep it pushing. But as far as when it comes to my husband, I'm very fortunate to be with somebody that understands my love languages. My top love language is acts of service, and he understands that. So I don't have to do a lot of talking. I don't have to do a lot of asking. I don't have to do a lot of that on a regular basis. However, there are some times, especially when there are periods of transition within our house, whether we're moving, businesses, whatever it is, anything that throws off our normal day to day routine, there is kind of friction until we can establish a new balance. We've just learned that if he has an issue with something, or if I have an issue with something, or if he's stressed out about something, or if I'm stressed out, we just have to go to each other, because either he can fix it, or either I can fix it, or we can fix it faster by coming together. The only thing that we can do is communicate, and that's what we try to do. We don't get it perfect all the time. Sometimes our tone's not, where it needs to be. I might be on 10 and he might be shortly behind me, but you know, the fact that you're able to be conscious of it and aware of, hey, it's not healthy for us to do this, or it would be more healthy for us to blah, 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 is a good thing. But yeah, how do you communicate with your partner that your mental plate is full? Okay, sis, say it out loud. Don't wait until you're snapping or spiraling. You are not a martyr, and silence is not strength. It is okay. If you need a little help, it's okay. It's okay to tell your spouse, hey, I'm tapped out for today. I need a break. Do you mind putting him to bed and just giving me a minute? I'm overstimulated. I need a break. Get Please. That honesty, it makes space for healing, for unity, and for closeness. And look, if he needs a little motivation, you can always put him a little pink sticky note on the fridge. I'm a note person. I like leaving notes. When I know, oh look, when I know I want something done in the house, you write him a little note. Like I said earlier, you just gonna have to trust me on this one, Bookie. Write him a little note, little sticky note, put on the fridge. Do this for me, and I'll show you just how grateful your wife can be later tonight. I bet you come home and your house clean. House clean, dinner cooked, bath water ran, pajamas picked out. Look, laughter, intimacy, honesty, let it all live in your marriage. If this blessed you tonight, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The link is in the bio, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next week. Until then, keep your glass full and your spirit fuller. Cheers.